Hi, it's Lynn Shuck with Healing and Balance. We're going to be doing a kind of overhead pull for the shoulders, but it's done lying down. There are all kinds of options of how you could do it. I'm teaching it today lying flat on my back. You might choose to put a little something under your head. The other thing you might want is a block, a strap or a belt, and even possibly a weight, not particularly heavy weight, 5, 6, 8 pounds, something small, could even be littler. We're going to do different variations of this same overhead pull, and one of the most important things is as you take the arms forward and up to not let the ribs fly off the floor. So we're going to be watching that these ribs stay in, so this also becomes some core work for you. I'm going to lie down. I'm going to extend my legs fully. You're welcome to have bent legs. It will be a little less core work, but it might be better in your body. So the first version of this is arms by my side. I'm turning my palms to face the floor, and I'm going to take my arms up overhead and then bring the backs of my hands to the floor, and then bring the arms up toward the ceiling, palms to the floor. So that's the first movement, and as I said, I'm trying really hard to watch that these ribs stay put. They don't fly up. So the next time my hands are by my hips, I'm going to flip them over, palms to the ceiling. Now I've externally rotated the arms, which makes this much harder to get my palms to the floor overhead. You can see I don't even make it to the floor. If your shoulders didn't make it to the floor at all, keep working, but don't force them to the floor. Just work to keep those ribs still and take them as far as they go. Now, in addition to playing with rotation of the arms, taking them overhead at any rotation, we can also play with wrist flexion, which will start to use arm muscles differently, and seeing as how arm muscles connect from your neck down your shoulder to your hand. Playing with the hand position can vary things too. So we're going to now take the arms right up over the rib cage and turn the palms to face your feet, and wrists extend. So the palms of your hands are up toward the ceiling. If we take that same movement in that position, my fingertips try and touch the floor and come back up. So I can really feel the muscles in my forearms working, but I'm also working this trunk to keep my ribs still. The next time we're up, we're going to rotate the arms just a quarter turn externally, so fingertips point out to the sides. It's still palms to the ceiling, and it's hands to the floor and back up, and hands to the floor and back up. Again, as I go into these more externally rotated arm positions, harder to move. Go ahead and bring your arms down. So that's working without any props. You can see it's easy to challenge the pose just by changing the rotation of the arm or the flexion or extension at the wrist. If I put a block that doesn't weigh much between my hands, I'm adding a compressive load. So the block is its widest setting, and I'm holding it between my palms. I'm not gripping with my fingers. So I'm just pressing my hands into the block. I'm going to take that same movement overhead. And so this can be another way to change this. You may find your shoulders work very differently when you're pressing your palms in toward each other because it's waking up different arm muscles. If I want to put a tensile load, I can take my belt. Now, I could grab my belt and pull apart, or if you have a belt with a loop in it, I can make a loop and put my hands inside it, palms facing each other. So now my hands are a little wider apart than when I had the block, but not much. And I'm pulling apart, palms facing each other, and I'm taking that same movement, which works much differently for me. It feels really different. I actually think I prefer that tensile load. If you don't have a loop and you're pulling, try and turn your hands so that your palms, your fists turn in and face each other. So again, we're comparing like with like in terms of the angle of the arms as you compare this to pressing on the block, pulling apart. And then the last one, as I said, you could add a weight. So this is an 8-pound weight, and I'm going to hold the weight between my hands. Again, palms facing each other. And I'm going to take this overhead. I want to move a little more slowly because I don't want the weight to overtake my arms. And so you want to start with a fairly light weight and build up gradually over time. So, lots of ways you can work on these overhead shoulder pulls. There's so many variations, you'll make up many, many more. See what your shoulders think of this. Go.